Hey everyone, so I am back in South Korea. I was here September 2020 and now it is April 2021. So I figured I would make some updates to a few things that have changed since the last time I was here. Just what you need before your flight, arrival at the airport, and this quarantine process. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first difference from last time is the requirement of needing a negative RT-PCR COVID test. Now this test is required to be done at least 3 days or 72 hours before your departure. I would recommend if you can get it done 48 hours or 24 hours before your departure, that'll be great. Since technically if you get it done 2 days before, when you arrive, it would be that third day. But you know, completely up to you. Do make sure that you print your test results and print another copy as well. Get 2 copies, 3 copies, whatever, but print your results. That's going to be very helpful. I saw a handful of people that did not print those test results and I don't know what they did. They were kind of set to the side. So print those results. Also, I did see quite a few questions last time about the test when you arrive at the facility. Even with this new requirement of needing a negative RT-PCR test prior to departure and arrival in Korea, you still get tested at the government quarantine facility upon arrival. Still a nasal swab and a other swab, mouth swab, throat swab, throat swab. So still you get both upon arrival at check-in. So the second thing that is different, and I don't know if this is actually different, it was different for me since the last time I traveled in September 2020, I flew Delta, and this time, April 2021, I flew United. So again, I don't know if it's different or not, but anyway, this time around, when I was at the gate for boarding, I had to provide the agent with my printed negative COVID test results. They then gave me a form, the health declaration form, to complete prior to boarding because you have to hand it to them as you're entering. And they also require that you download the app, the self-diagnosis app. So for those that have seen my first video, the first time around when I traveled to Korea, I provided the direct links to both of the apps that you will need throughout the process for the airport process and for quarantine. So my recommendation is going to be to check out that video. I'll add a link somewhere here and make sure to download both of those apps prior to leaving. Just one less headache. So I'll make sure to add that link somewhere. And the other thing that they're going to ask that you do is to complete a form on that first app. So when you launch the app, it's going to ask for like your passport number and such. Basically, the same sheet that you have in front of you is on this app. So you're completing it both ways. Once you complete all of that, you'll give the agent your form. They'll check your test again. They'll check your temperature and confirm that you have the app. And then you're all set. You can board the plane. Third thing, maybe the last thing, I don't know. The last time I was here, I traveled solo. So I got so many questions about traveling with a companion and if you could stay in the same room at the facility and all that stuff. This time, I'm traveling with a companion. So I have a lot more insight for those that are traveling with a buddy or spouse or mom or whoever. So anyway, at the airport, when you arrive, the process is still the same. You have your 5-ish stations. They're just located a little bit differently. First thing, you know, they check your temperature, look at that health declaration form. I think it's the yellow sheet. I'll provide that picture somewhere here. The first one is the yellow sheet. They take that. Second one is where they call the Korean number, or you can buy a SIM card if needed, and then they confirm your address for after quarantine. From there, you then go through the actual like immigration part where they give you that little paper for your visa, or like if you're there for the 90-day free visa thing, they'll give you a little sheet. Then from there, you go to a section for, I really don't know what it was for, actually. You just sat down and they typed in a bunch of stuff, took your picture and your fingerprints, and then you were off to baggage claim. So yeah, the process was very similar. Again, I made a video before with more details, so if you want to take a look at that, I'll add the link somewhere. So from baggage claim, again, same thing. You turned in your declaration form. It's just a little box, so you're literally just walking out, putting it in the box, and then you can always get cash at the little cash exchange, currency exchange if you would like. When you exit, you provide all of your information again to the last checkpoint before you go to where you wait for your shuttle. Now, I know I'm providing like super brief overview of everything, but it's because I made that other video that was a lot more in depth. So for anyone that's looking for just quick overview and what you need to know, that's basically it. So you hand them your passport and whatnot at this last station, and then they'll ask for you to wait at a certain area before they take you to the shuttle pickup for the quarantine facility. I think that made sense. Yeah. So a frequently asked question from last time was, how long did the process take? Now, last time it took me 45 minutes to go through the airport process, the drive for the shuttle to the quarantine facility. I was staying at the Grand Hyatt, which is only about 5 minutes from the airport. So really quick, easy process to get to the facility. Now, this time around, it took about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. The airport process was still pretty direct. Maybe it took an hour at most. And the longest part was waiting for the shuttle. That took maybe about an hour, hour and a half. And then the drive from the airport to the quarantine facility, or this hotel here, was about an hour, hour and a half. More like an hour and a half. And so, yeah, placement for your quarantine facility or your hotel is completely random. As I said, last time I was at the Grand Hyatt. This time I am, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's an hour and a half away as opposed to 5 minutes from the airport. So it's just completely random. I am tired, y'all. I look so tired. Anyway, okay. I wanted to knock out this video while everything is still fresh in my mind before I forget everything. So next step is checking in at your government facility. Now, these steps may vary. I know this time around was completely different from the last time I was here. When we, got here to the facility, the first thing that they asked us to do was to complete a form and to download an app, the app that you will use to check in twice a day with your symptoms and your temperature. I did mention I will add the link to my previous video. I will absolutely do that because that video will have the direct links to where you can go to download the 2 apps that you'll need, the app for the airport and the app for quarantine. So I recommend downloading those before you arrive in Korea, so you have those. Just one less thing to worry about. A few people had some difficulty connecting to Wi-Fi at the facility, and so they were actually told, since they could not download the app at all, that an individual or a quarantine person would go to their room every day, twice a day, to take their temperature and everything. So if for some reason you cannot download the app, apparently that is an option. So we completed the form, we already had the app, so we just waited until a check-in agent was available, and then we went up together. We are, again, in different rooms, but we paid using the same card. Some people paid cash, others paid card, so, different ways to pay. From there, we had our COVID test done, nasal and throat. Didn't really hurt, and I came here last fall for rhinoplasty, and the test here was the intense one where it goes all the way up to your brain, and it didn't really hurt my nose at all, so I was super thankful for that. That was my biggest worry, was that this test here would somehow mess with my nose or make my nose bleed, but totally fine. And then from there, they gave us a little meal package and we were able to go up to our rooms. So really quick summary, as I mentioned, this is my second time traveling to Korea during the pandemic and my second time going through a government quarantine facility process and staying here. So for those that are traveling to Korea, 2021, this is just a really quick summary. So first thing when traveling to Korea in 2021, you are going to need your printed negative RT-PCR COVID test results. One, make sure they're printed. Second thing is to download the apps that you'll need for the airport process and for the quarantine process. I have included the direct links on where you can download those apps in my previous video, and I will attach that video somewhere. Third thing is you are still going to have a COVID test upon arrival at your quarantine facility, even though you just provided a negative test result for travel, you're still going to have that done again. And then I hear that you're going to have more tests done while at the facility. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. I'll keep you updated if I have more tests done. Last time I did not. It was just upon arrival and that was it. So we'll see. And lastly, if you're traveling with a companion, my recommendation is going to be to print a sheet with both of your information, your passport information, the accommodations you'll be staying at after quarantine, phone numbers, all of that, so that each of you has that information in case you are split during the airport process. And then at the facility, I do not know what the requirements are for you to stay in the same room. I'm traveling with my brother and we were told we have to be separate, which is fine. That's what we wanted anyway. I did see a couple where they stayed in the same room, and then a mother-daughter, they got to stay in the same room. So again, I don't know what the requirements are, but I'm sure you can ask them. Each person pays the price for quarantine. I believe we paid about $1,500. Same price as last time, maybe about $5 increase. And I think that's all. I really wanted to keep this super short since I feel like my last video was super in-depth and really long. So yeah, any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And oh my gosh, my hair, I am tired, y'all. So yeah, anyways, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks so much for watching.